Hello everyone, Chrisa is here, and today we will be working more on to understanding the details of the embrace. We will be working with weight. So, and that will be one of the elements. So, when a lot of people try to understand how much pressure they need to apply in order to lead. How much pressure is or how much weight is too much weight when they're following and they're trying to connect with their partner. So we're going to be working on these elements just to get a feel of how much too much weight might be. And believe me, if you think it's too much weight, it's highly likely that your partner will feel that it's too much weight as well. Also hiding in there will be ways that you can find, that you can explore in order to minimize the impact of that extra weight, of that extra force, or that extra push. But as it is expected, the best way out of an uncomfortable situation is to talk to your partner. If you don't want to go there though, this video will help you in uncomfortable situations to get a little bit more comfortable and possibly not injured. So here we go. Okay, let's get ourselves set up. So start with these semicircles that we were working on a couple of weeks ago, allowing for the arm to rotate inside the shoulder joint, and I'm going to show you in various positions, so allow for the rest of the body to participate in the movement. So don't feel that you're holding on a specific position. And then come down to an all fours position or a plank position, like so. So depending how, intense you want to go. We're going to start with moving inside the shoulder joint. So dropping our body and pulling away from the chair. So if you've been dancing tango for some time, you will probably recognize both of these positions where you're losing connection because your partner is falling in the frame or is pushing away and towards you. So if you were doing it in a plank, you would be feeling it a lot more. I'm just showing you from two different perspectives so you can see how this looks. It looks like a push-up, and it is sort of a push-up, but it's a scapula push-up. So that would be one way of exploring that shift of weight. The other thing that many times messes up with our embrace is the head. So pushing the head forward, and I am quite sure both leaders and followers have had the opposite role, pushing into their cheek or into their forehead. So, and having to obtain the opposite position, especially if you do this in this position in the plank, you will feel a very big difference. You will feel that you have to work a lot harder to hold the rest of the posture together, and a lot of work happening in the shoulders and the neck and the arms. Similarly, managing where our weight is over our feet. So if you start from this position and you roll your way over your toes or all the way too far back. So in this case, there is a lot of work. You feel it in the wrists. There is a lot of pressure in the shoulders and the hands. And the whole body is tensing up to hold you in position. And when you're rolling back, again, there is pressure at the lower end of the palm and a lot of work to maintain the rest of the body in position. You will be feeling it a lot more if you are doing it in a plank, especially when you're going forward, the pressure will be more intense. When you're going back, you will feel that the complete disconnection. And I'm pretty sure you can sympathize with that feeling, leaders and followers. Make sure to take to take a few breaks if you need to. Going back to the circles that we did before, just to get a little bit off your wrists, especially if you are doing the plank position. You might feel that you need a few extra breaks here and there. Now, usually, we're not on 2 feet when we are doing tango. So you're going to be doing exactly the same routine, but on 1 foot. Just make sure that you're changing feet. You will notice that this put how much different that 1 foot stance is feeling, and how that slight change of where our chest is sits within the frame, and if we are supporting the frame or not, how much of a difference that creates in how we experience the weight managed through the arms, through the hands, through the elbows, and through the shoulder. Try not to overdo it. Just just experience it, because sometimes you want to be careful. Not to overdo it, over exaggerate when you are doing these exercises. You just want to feel that the two wrong extremes and find a comfortable middle, so you know where you need to land. Same goes with the head. The interesting thing while doing these exercises is that, aside from defining the wrong ends of the spectrum, you also find that there is a lot of movement between the two ends, and there is a pathway that you reach, that you follow from one end to the other. So when you are dancing and you are dancing with a partner that is doing one of the two extremes, um, the first reaction is that focus our we try to focus our attention on keeping things correct. However, this doesn't work because it causes more tension, and the other person is not in a correct position. They are in a position that are either pushing us or pulling on us. So going from between the two extremes allows you to find that wiggle room, to define that wiggle room. And there is a little bit of wiggle room there between the correct position, the efficient position, and the incorrect ends. So you can use that wiggle room when you are trying to get yourself out of trouble. And since we are not in a palm to palm situation, but we're mostly right hand of the follower into the left hand of the leader, we will work in that one hand stance. So the reason we are starting with the leg swings is because I don't want you to find yourself defining the exact position of the hand, but stepping into it and then pushing away from your partner or collapsing towards them, and push away and then collapse. So you don't want these two ends, but you want to brace yourselves, put some work into the legs, and see if you can relax the shoulders like I'm doing. See if there's a little bit of suspension and a readiness to get out of this position. So let's see it again. You walk into it, you let the movement define the position of the hand. You might need a couple of times to try this out. And then you push yourself into the two ends, either pushing away or collapsing. Notice here that the arm is really working. So all the other elements of the body are not helping out. And then, after experiencing the two ends, you will allow for the rest of the body to help out. The legs, the core, the back, and you will feel a relaxation, a suspension in the elbow, and a readiness to move in different directions. So those are, let's set a few criteria on so you can tell if you're doing it correctly. So if you're doing it correctly, there is no tension. There is, there's no tension up in the upper body. There is participation of the different parts of the body. So a lot of parts are working together. You can breathe freely, and you are ready to move in any direction. So you could push yourself forward or back or collect and go to the side. And of course, we always do the other side as well. And the last criteria would be the suspension in the elbow. I've kept this last because you can really see it here in this iteration. So when you're blocking the elbow, when you're locking it in a position such as this, like I'm doing now, or if you are collapsing and you're letting go in the shoulder, then there is a disconnect, either because you're putting a block with this, like this position, or because you are letting go. So we want somewhere in between, where the elbow, along with everything else, is part of this system that is our body, and it has a little bit of suspension, a little bit of give, a little bit of softness, and it's ready to push us into a new position. So the elbow is there to support, of course. It is there to receive. It is there to channel the energy through. And this is what you should be feeling. When you are there, that hand is ready to direct your next move. So there is a readiness, and that readiness goes right through the hand, the wrist, the elbow, and the shoulder into your body and into your next move. Again, take a moment to explore how your shoulders are feeling and how your arms are feeling in connection to your chest with these nice semicircles.